Drought, bad harvests, heat. Fertile lands keep giving way to the desert. Permafrost is increasingly turning into swamplands. Ice caps are melting. The planet Earth's climate is hotter now than it has been in the last 100,000 years. By the end of the century, it'll be even hotter. By 1 degree? Of course not. If average temperatures increase by 1.5, by 3, by 5 degrees, it will result in serious global changes. What changes lie ahead in the environment, in the economy, in politics? There's no way of knowing yet. Adil Ahmad Abdallah lives in the Yemeni governorate of Taiz.
مزارع من منطقة الضباب. طبعا حياتنا اليومية نعيشها في الزراعة مع أفراد أسرتنا المتكونة من 12 فرد، وكلهم طبعا يحبون الزراعة، ونتناوب على الزراعة في الصباح والظهر وبعد العصر، وكلهم يعشقون الزراعة.
It's time to sow wheat. Adil pays his neighbour, who still has cattle, to do this job.
معانا بقار، معانا ذحين كموتين، مع أبوش ما يأكلين، نحصل كها قليل ما نحصل كثير، والزراعة مع تعملش والجو تغير.
Climate change can be observed all over the planet. Yemen is one of the countries where the weathers become hotter. Farmers were the first ones to fall victim. Actually, nothing's fine, but locals are coping the best they can.
وكذلك قلة الأمطار، حتى إن موسم الأمطار في كل سنة يتأخر عن الموسم التالي من الآبار بسبب الأسعار المرتفعة، وكذلك أن لا نستطيع أن نحتفظ بجميع المواشي التي لدينا بسبب عدم وجود العلف التي تكفي هذه الحيوانات، مما اضطرنا إلى بيع بعض منها وبعض أفراد الأسرة.
There's a big red tank with a little bit of water in Adil's yard, but it has to be used very sparingly, a little at a time. Lol, Adil's wife, has grown tired of talking about it.
الماء ما ابوش، معانا استوانيك ومعانا مواشي، واحنا نرحل من هذه البلاد.
ما والله نرحل من البلاد، ما ابوش امطار.
نرحل من هذه البلاد نمشي، ما ننساش احنا نجلس نعيش في هذه البلاد. لانه ما ابوش ماء، ما ابوش ماء، الماء معدوم، ما معانا استوانيك، ما معانا اي حاجه.
نرحل لنا معدات معانا.
نرحل للمعلبات، نروح عطان والدياب. احنا فقراء، احنا مساكين، ما معانا لا مواشي، ما معاناش اي حاجه، لا حمار، لسه فقر وسناء والدباب. ولا معانا شيء بالبيت. والزراعة بعيد، الماء ما هو شونا بيارة، تبغى بير عطل ما بيش.
بالنسبة للظروف المناخية في اليمن، تعتبر اليمن من البلدان الجافة شبه الجافة بالنسبة للظروف المناخية. وقد أشارت الدراسات الاستراتيجية للمياه بأن يبلغ حصة الفرد السنوية للموارد المياه المتجددة حوالي 125 متر مكعب. هذا يعني أن اليمن تعتبر من أفقر الدول في المياه بالنسبة للموارد الجوفية والموارد المتجددة.
The Ministry of Agriculture, where Fuad Abdel Jalil is employed as an agriculturalist, isn't able to help farmers. The Yemeni economy is weak. In 2018, inflation hit 40%.
ارتفعت أسعار المستلزمات الزراعية بشكل مهول. يعني بدل ما كان مثلا ال 25 كيلو من الأسمدة الذوبة 100% نشيلها ب 18,000، الآن تبلغ إلى 65,000 سعر الكيس الواحد.
65,000 rials is about $260, a sum that locals can't afford. At this roadside marketplace, they're offering travellers all kinds of knickknacks, vegetables and clothes to make at least some money. Fortunately, the water from this well is free of charge. The local pumping station is financed by a wealthy man who was born here but moved to the city a long time ago. Bottles are delicately covered in plastic so water doesn't spill, and children carry them home. This water won't be used for irrigation.
كل شيء تغير، كل شيء مسمى، الحرارة زادة، كل شيء ولا هالشيء، والمطر ما فيش، والناس شدوا لهم من البلاد هذه، والأمطار ما فيش، والزراعة ما تزرعش، والناس شدوا من هذه البلاد، كل شيء ما هلش.
A geography class at the local school. Today's topic, global warming, is particularly relevant for Yemenis.
المشكلات البيئية هي التغير المناخي، ونقصد بالتغير المناخي ارتفاع درجات الحرارة في العالم. طبعا هذه التغير في درجة الحرارة لها مسببات أو أسباب، ولها أيضا نتائج وخيمة على المجتمع اليمني والمجتمع العالمي ككل. من ضمن هذه المشكلات التي نتكلم عنها هي الملوثات.
This is a poster of the Youth Initiative organization that was founded by the natives of this region. It works to save water and protect conditions for farming.
ونتمنى أن تنتهي الحرب وندرس وننتقل إلى مكان آمن، ووقع الحرب حطم مشاعرنا ودمر المزارعين وعملية الزراعة.
نتمنى أن نعيش بسلام وتنتهي الحرب التي نخوضها في هذا الوقت الحالي، ونتمنى أن ندرس في مناطق آمنة وبعيدة عن خط التماس، وهذا حلمنا إن شاء الله للمستقبل وغيره.
In the wake of the 2011 Arab Spring, widespread unrest in North Africa and the Middle East, Yemen got a new president. Since 2015, an armed conflict has been going on here. According to the UN's estimate, by the end of 2018, Yemen was on the brink of mass famine, a threat faced by half of its population, 16 million people. Usually, political instability and war are considered to cause such humanitarian crises. Jesus Crespo Quaresma is one of the researchers behind the first study to prove that changes in climate could be one of the factors causing humanitarian crises, mass migration, and recent wars.
There is, however, a whole lot of literature about how basically drought and the failure of harvests tends to lead to internal migration from rural areas to cities, and they tend to incentivize latent conflicts that may happen or that may have been happening within a country prior to that drought episode.
Researchers examined data for 10 years, from 2006 to 2015, about where most of the refugees came from and what the weather conditions were there.
On the second part of the period, starting more or less 2010, which implies that conflicts such as the Syrian conflict, the Arab Springs, and certain conflicts in sub-Saharan Africa may be indeed particularly influenced by climatic conditions.
Global warming, military conflicts, climate change, and the tragedy of millions of refugees. The link between environment and politics. This is a new reality. Even more than that, the future of the planet. Ali Mahjoub Hassan is living proof of the Vienna researchers' theory. He's one of the many Yemeni farmers who had to move to the city to find a job, to become a migrant worker.
كنت مزارعا وكانت حياتي يعني بصراحة متيسرة وكنا نصرف يعني من حقنا الأرض وكان عندما كانت الأمطار تهطل بغزارة والبيارات لا تجف.
Ali Mahjoub Hassan has returned home to his wife and 5 children for a few days to help around the house a little. He comes back to his home village every 6 months.
نحن دخلنا إلى المدينة لكي نسد رمقنا يعني بالعيش نطلب الله ولكن لا يوجد عمل ما يمكننا إحنا من الصرف على أولادنا وعلى أسرنا بالشكل المطلوب مع تواجد الحرب والغلاء المعيشة يعني أصبحنا غير في حالة لا يعلم بها إلا الله.
Taiz Governorate is regarded as the region most affected by the war in Yemen. One charitable foundation provides free food, medical care and water to the Taiz population.
فقد انعدمت المياه وأصبح المواطن عاجزا على شرائها خاصة في ظل الظروف الاقتصادية التي يعاني منها. وارتفعت أسعار المياه بما يعادل 500% بل إلى 700 و1000%.
Philanthropists are planning to build a water pumping station. In a region suffering from a hot climate, this is a matter of life and death.
الآن أصبح المواطنين عاجزين على شراء المياه. المزارعين أيضا أدى إلى نقص المحصول وأدى إلى شرب الناس من آبار ومياه مكشوفة مما أدى إلى انتشار أمراض كالكوليرا وأمراض أخرى في محافظة تعز.
The governorate capital, the city of Taiz, with a population of more than 600,000 people, is one of the largest Yemeni cities. That's where Ali Mahjoub Hassan has moved to. It's only 2 hours by car from his village. But Ali has no car. He makes a living reselling confectionery at an intersection.
أنا لي رغبة أن أهاجر من هذه البلاد إلى أي دولة أو إلى مناطق حضرموت أو إلى مناطق فيها العمل والدخل المناسب حتى يكفي أهلي.
It's not getting any colder in Yemen. Ali Mahjoub Hassan is not returning to farming. He will work part-time jobs in the city, and his family will eventually join him there. Climate deterioration in Yemen, breaking off from the traditional social structure, global warming and waves of refugees from new deserts to other countries, all this is inevitable.
В принципе, правильно говорить не просто глобальное потепление, а глобальное изменение климата. Ведь люди могут влиять на климат, не обязательно выбрасывая углекислый газ. Например, вырубка лесов. Вы вырубаете леса, и вместо лесов у вас появляется, к вам приходит пустыня. Приходит пустыня, там меняется ситуация. То есть не только как бы сам климат из каких-то внешних факторов меняется. Вы создали условия для изменения климата.
The wide-reaching impact that humans have not just on climate, but on the whole planet, led scientists to the hypotheses of the Anthropocene, the age when humans started influencing the planet directly. Geologist Michael Wagreich is one of the advocates of this theory.
Humans are influencing, of course, greenhouse gases, so carbon dioxide and others. Humans are influencing a lot of processes of cycles, the carbon cycle, the nitrogen cycle, the sulfur cycle. So there are a lot of evidences for me that things are changing.
Tromsø, Norway. It's about 6,000 kilometers from here to Yemen. But the climate change Yemen suffers from is somewhat evident in Norway as well. The students from Nature and Youth Organization are getting ready for a Friday environmental strike. All Norwegians know about the need to reduce hazardous substance emissions. But adults' intentions in this regard are seen as too timid by adolescents.
De har lyst til å oppnå at den skal kutte litt mer på utslipp. Foreløpig i den nye foreslåtte nedkuttinga så var det på 11%, og det må opp til 50%. Så vi velger da å gå litt drastisk til og prøve å få det til å høyne til 50% da. Det kommer til å bli nesten skam.
Anthropocene man demands drastic measures. Friday school strikes started in 2018 in Sweden on the initiative of a schoolgirl from Stockholm, Greta Thunberg. Now the whole world knows about this way to bring attention to this disastrous problem. Except that solving this problem is harder than it seems.
Det som litt rart, det at folk tenker ikke på klimaet. For eksempel, det jo to ting som kjennetegner veldig mye på veldig langt ut på høyresiden. Det jo liksom, de vil ikke ha så mye innvandrere, de vil ha en veldig streng innvandringspolitikk, men så bryr de seg heller ikke om klimaet, de vil liksom dempe det veldig. Mens det som litt rart å tenke på, at liksom, det kommer jo etter hvert til å bli et problem med miljøinnvandring, at folk ikke bare for at det krig, men at det rett og slett ubeboelig i Afrika og langt der nede.
Hvis vi hadde ikke sånn alle innvandrere, hvis vi hadde ikke god grunn til å komme hit.
The roadmap global warming activists signed in 2016, the Paris Agreement on Climate Change, is comprehensive but not obligatory. The signatories recognize the inevitable increase in average global surface temperatures.
Не имеет смысла ставить даже вопрос. Это нереально ограничить рост температуры к 2100 году, там, например, 1 градусом. Это нереально.
The Paris Agreement signatories have only pledged to take all possible measures to limit the rise of average temperature to 2 degrees, or preferably to 1.5 degrees, by the end of the 21st century.
Если человечество продолжает развиваться так, как оно развивается сейчас, не предпринимая никаких мер по сокращению выброса, по сокращению своего воздействия на климат, то к 2100 году рост температуры составит порядка 4-5 градусов.
Commitments to reduce emissions made by some countries require large sums of money. and it still won't be enough to stop warming by 2 degrees or even 1.5 degrees. That's why European school children are on strike, urging their contemporaries to start thinking about what to do.
And I remember being a child, there was nothing about global warming. So, and we burned our coal and we're happy. Now we know. And I think science and education is a very important point in that. I think we're on the right way in that.
This is the Svalbard archipelago, the northernmost Norwegian territory. Longyearbyen is one of the northernmost settlements in the world, but the places that are supposed to be coldest hold the record for global warming. The Arctic ice caps melt faster than they freeze and become increasingly smaller year by year. That's why these locations are warming more rapidly than others. The average temperature in Svalbard is 4 degrees higher than it was in the early 1970s. By the end of this century, it could become another 10 degrees warmer.
The glaciers diminish, permafrost thaws, so the soil becomes softer, and we see changes, quite dramatic changes here in Longyearbyen, because houses have to be abandoned, both due to avalanche risk and due to soil thawing, soil motions. Some of the houses stand on wood pilings. These are, instead of being dry and frozen, they are now starting to rot. So there are many changes that come very close to us as human beings.
The Doomsday Storage, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, was opened in 2008. Permafrost and low seismic activity seemingly guaranteed that storing millions of seeds from all over the world in this underground refrigerator would be simple. But 9 years later, the vault entrance was inundated. Authorities claim the seeds weren't damaged, but millions were spent on repairs. Such dissimilar problems in Norway and Yemen have been caused by the same climate changes. But the approach to solving the problem hasn't united humanity yet.
In some parts of the world, people are struggling to get food. They, of course, have to probably increase their energy use. But, much of the change we see in the atmosphere today is caused by some of the rich countries' emissions decades ago. So we have different history, we have different future, but the future of the planet is our common future. And we need to contribute as best we can in all our countries.
Vast territories of the far north regions in Russia, the USA and Canada will face the same fate. The infrastructure of the former permafrost areas will have to be changed and adjusted for the new climate. Less snow, more rain. Some African and Middle Eastern countries will resemble today's Yemen.
Also telling us that climate variability is creating a whole lot of internal migration within countries. And the extra piece of knowledge that we get from our paper is that that could also be fueling armed conflicts in some parts of the world.
The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2007 for building a widespread consensus regarding the link between human activities and global warming. Their report, produced in 2018, defined ways to influence the global climate, to reduce harmful emissions, plant forests, promotes seaweed cultivation in the ocean. The report contains even the most exotic and unusual method, construction of a global shield.
Возможно применение методов управления солнечной радиацией. Наиболее известный это заброс в стратосферу серосодержащих веществ, которые в стратосфере преобразуются в серные аэрозоли, которые отражают солнечную радиацию. Это аналог природного эффекта, который происходит после мощных извержений вулканов. Последний известный пример – это извержение вулкана Пинатуба.
The Mount Pinatubo eruption of 1991 in the Philippines created a huge cloud of dust and ash that shielded the Earth's surface from sunlight. The atmospheric emission from Pinatubo was the largest in the 20th century. The eruption led to a decrease in average temperatures on the planet of 0.5 degrees. The same kind of shield, only a man-made one, is something scientists are contemplating today. But there's still a long way to go before this idea could be implemented.
Мне кажется, что мы оказались в ситуации, когда сейчас уже нужно не столько думать о том, как бороться с выбросами, а уже наступает время, когда пора думать о том, что делать с последствиями, как спасаться.
Realizing what we've done, reducing our influence on the planet, and adapting to the new climate of the Anthropocene age is the complex, difficult, and inevitable future of mankind on Earth.